Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest. And today we're going to check out from Makeup Forever the new water tint. This is a light coverage skin tint, retails for $37 for 1.35 ounces or 40 mils of product. That comes out to less than $28-ish per ounce, so it's not too expensive. This one has some interesting claims. It is the Watertone Skin Perfecting Tint, a clean formula with transfer-proof 24-hour hydration. They do claim specifically in their text that this is mask-proof. Formulated with 94% naturally derived ingredients, it is silicone-free, oil-free, non-comedogenic, safe for acne-prone and sensitive skin. It's got a recyclable glass bottle. It is 78% water-based, no animal-derived ingredients, aka vegan. And it comes in 20 different shades. That's about all of the excitement. Humidity-proof, sweat-proof, waterproof, mask-proof. I appreciate when a brand has a consistent shade range, so I got this in shade R230, which in the Reboot foundation is one of my favorite skin tone matches. I use it whenever I'm doing those shade finders, and so that's the shade that I got in this one as well. Let's take a look at this shade swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time! First up is today's foundation from Makeup Forever. This is the Watertone in shade R230. Second, also from Makeup Forever, is the Reboot in shade R230. Third up is from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Fourth is MAC Studio Sculpt in NW15. And last I've got from Misha, the Perfect Cover BB Cream in shade 21. I've already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 46-year-old face. I'm going to use fingertips to apply today because the formula seems super watery and I think it would soak into my sponge. They do say you can apply this with sponge or fingertips or a brush. But let's see, I suspect this is a pretty liquidy formula. Oh, maybe not as much as I thought. This definitely has a fragrance to it, and fragrance is pretty high up on the ingredient list on this one, and I can smell it. It smells very perfumey. Doesn't smell bad. I just wish there wasn't any fragrance in my face makeup. It just doesn't need to be there, you guys. I would say this does blend out nicely. It does sort of sink into the skin nicely. It's a little tacky as you apply it. Again, I think everyone's jumping on that face and body bandwagon where the feeling as you rub it between your fingers and apply it to the skin, it gets that almost, I want to use the word gelatinous, but that's not really it. I don't really have a good word for it, but it kind of changes the texture as it sort of adheres with your skin. I'm getting a little bit of pilling on this side, but you know, when it happens along my hairline, I think it's user error. It's me not blending my skincare out well enough along my hairline because it's not happening anywhere else. Let's zoom in. So I would say I am getting some clinging to dry skin on my upper lip, and I'm getting a little bit of polka dot pores going on my nose. It seems to just in certain spots maybe not agree with whatever skincare I have underneath it. It's primarily happening on my nose, and well, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just my nose being typically uncooperative as it likes to be. But on those places, it just, the makeup is on top of the skin and it's not giving that nice sort of veil of any kind of coverage. Now, I do feel like it's doing a good job with where it's doing it well. There's a nice veil of a little bit of blurring of pores, a little bit of blurring of texture. It is clinging to anywhere where I've got flakes or peeling skin. I've got a little bit going on in between my eyebrows and a little bit on my upper lip. So it is clinging in those spots, but in the areas where I don't have that going on, it looks really nice on the skin. I can't really tell if this is going to fully set down. It says that it is self-setting, so I'm going to give it a couple minutes and see if it sets itself down. Typically with these kind of skin tints, I actually like to use a powder I make these the base and then I use a little bit of powder foundation, but let's see if we can get away with not using powder. I will let you guys know. Let's check the time. It is 1:03 p.m. I'm gonna go put the rest of my face on. I'll be right back. Back with the Watertone. I did not set this with powder, but I think in the future I would, because I'm not a super fan of how powder's blended on top of this. I just don't think it's the smoothest blend, and it's the same brushes and the same things that I've been wearing. It's the Wayne Goss bronzer and the Wayne Goss blush. And I just feel like everything looks a little bit patchy. So I would probably use powder next time. I'm trying to figure out why I would wear this, because I don't feel like there's really any coverage. I don't feel like it does much for evening skin tone. You know, I still feel like my skin tone is uneven. I've got redness on my chin. It didn't really hide any of my sunspots, so it's not a coverage product. It does do a really nice job at smoothing skin. So like texture and fine lines, pores, they do seem far more blurred than if I had nothing on. So that is one thing it does, but it does cling to dry skin if you've got any flaking or peeling going on. So you really have to be one of those people that has none of that going on in order for this to be, you know, a beneficial product. You need to have, you know, no need for coverage and no flaking skin. So I think we're kind of limiting who this is the best product for. We will see how it wears throughout the day, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking as I'm putting my makeup on. Now, of course, no makeup would have made a lot more sense today, but I just got the Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette, and clearly I have self-control issues when it comes to makeup. So that is what is on my eyes, and I'm still absolutely adoring the number 7 Full 360 Ultra Mascara. Definitely think this is going on to my list of favorite mascaras. My lip is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Petal, no surprise there, and blush bronzer highlight all Wayne Goss. So that is where we're starting out. I will come back in a bit with a daylight check-in, and then I will come back tonight and give you guys my final thoughts. Hey guys, it has been, maybe 5 hours or so now. Let's take a look at the Makeup Forever. I think it's gotten a little bit more dewy than it was before. I did run to the store, wore a mask for a little while. There was no transfer whatsoever onto my mask. I might be testing this out wearing glasses pretty soon. For some reason, this eyeball, I have had something in my eye all day, and cleaning my contact has not helped. So my eye hurts. And so I'm probably gonna take my contacts out and put my glasses in. But so far I think this is holding up. The thing is, there's just not much coverage to begin with. So I think all it's really doing is giving me that sheen. Do you see it on my forehead? That's the foundation, because I don't have any highlight on my forehead. My cheeks I have highlight, but see how it's just kind of patchy? Everything just didn't blend very well. I think I will definitely wear powder with this next time. So there's color match. I think actually my hands just look super pale right now, because I think the match on this is fine. You know, it has a little bit of a dry down to it. When you first apply it, it looks lighter, but once it dries down, it practically exactly matches the R230 in the Reboot foundation. So that's where we're at, 5-ish hours in. I will be back tonight. We'll wrap this one up. 12:26 a.m. That puts us not too far away from the 12-hour mark. Let's take a look at how this Makeup Forever held up. As you see, I did switch to my glasses, so I'm gonna try not to drive you guys crazy with the reflection, but just to show, there's a little bit worn away where the nose pads go, but these glasses, I've been, you know, putting it up, working on my nails, putting them down, putting them back up, putting them down. So there's been a lot of movement of my glasses on my nose, and I'd say it wore pretty well. Also, I blew my nose, and literally no product was on the Kleenex. Part of that's probably because there's not a lot of product left. A lot of it has sort of vanished, but to not even leave a trace at all, pretty remarkable, I think. Comfortable, super lightweight, can't even tell that I'm wearing anything. But let's zoom in and take a look at where we are at this 12-hour mark. The main situation is that product is definitely disappearing. It's mostly graceful, except when you look at it close up, it really is starting to bunch up in a few different places. I think at a distance, it is probably still what I would call a graceful degradation, but up close, you definitely can see that the product is completely breaking down and wearing away. It is getting a little bit, you know, you can kind of see the marks where I just touched my forehead. There's a little bit of oil, like it's got a residue. I could use a blot, and I am not an oily person by any stretch. So I think this foundation is done. It has had its time. Here's the thing. I don't know why I would wear it. It's a nice smoothing base, but that's all it's doing. I need some other things. I want a little bit of coverage. I just wouldn't wear it only for smoothing. And the fact that it clings to dry skin, I have dry skin most of the time. So I don't know when I would wear this. That's the thing. I think it holds up to a ton of its claims. It claims to be this, you know, sheer wash. It claims to be smoothing and blurring to the skin. I agree. I think it is. It claims to be transfer resistant and hold up with masks and things. I agree, it does. So I don't think the product itself is bad. I think it's actually living up to a whole lot of what it claims. It's just not something I can see myself wearing, and since it does cling to dry skin, if I had to give a grade to the Makeup Forever Watertone, I'm going to go with B. I think it's a good product. I'm not sure how many people will go for it considering the very little amount of coverage you get from it, but I do think it's living up to a whole lot of the claims that it has made, and as such, it gets some credit for that. If I needed it for a base for like powder foundation to do a full face that way, I think I would wear this. That's about the only thing I can think of scenario-wise, and it would probably have to be a time when I am not having flaking skin. But there you have it. That is my final take on the Makeup Forever Watertone. If you like foundation reviews, if you had fun with this one, give me a thumbs up down below. Check out geekoutofwater.com, click the Foundation Fest link. I have a ranked, sortable, searchable spreadsheet of over 200 foundation reviews on there. Swipe that thing. There is a lot of data to go through. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. Come back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time for new videos. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other.